That's it, perfect. All right, now stick them back in the bag. Yeah. Hey y'all, singer-songwriter Jiggley Jones. Welcome to episode 10 of my show, Jiggley's Jonesers, my vlog, whatever you want to call it. And today I am going to talk about how I made this cheap video for Broken Arrow. It cost me $20. And the only thing that cost me in the whole thing was the booze that I had to buy to do the video. I couldn't find any empty booze bottles, so I went out and bought a couple pints, Jack and some vodka, and emptied them out as much as I needed to. I actually got to drink that afterwards, so it was a win-win. So that first little segment that you saw was the little dude dumping out some apples, and as you can tell, you can hear me talking to him and coaching him along the way. And I have to say, he did a great job throughout this whole video of listening to what needed to be done and interpreting it. I'm going to start out by telling you a few secrets about this video. The first one is the little dude is my son, and we recorded this back in October of 2019 when he was only 8. He's 9 now. Also, my wife's in the video. I'll talk about that later. And my middle child, my youngest daughter, I have 2 daughters, the youngest one did some of the filming too when I was in the scene, and my wife was also in the scene. So, you know, this is considered an indie video. I'm an indie artist, which means I don't have any money, but that pretty much sums it up in a nutshell. I'm going to talk to you for the most part like you've never done anything like this before. This whole thing was shot on my property. I have a couple acres, half of that's woods, and the idea was to get a look like this whole thing was taking place out in the wilderness, and that was camera angle. Every time I took a shot, I made sure I didn't have the neighbor's house in the background or my house or anything at my house, a swing set, whatever. That was one of the key things to filming this, was to create the illusion that it was out somewhere, you know, where no one was around. So, you know, there are some themes to the video that are important. In the apples, one thing you'll see a couple of scenes where there's apples involved, and it's mentioned in the song because of that. So I transferred the idea of the apple grove to making you think that I'm near the apple grove, or the boy was near the apple grove when he's dumping the apples out. And the other thing is the broken arrow itself, which the boy finds, and you'll see that later on. He finds it and he carries it with him everywhere, and it represents him to the viewer. It represents the mother, who's the broken arrow, but the boy takes on the role as the broken arrow in his mind because he doesn't have that confidence in himself. He feels like he's broken. And the ninja outfit is also a play on that, where he uses that, or it's in the actual video to portray the idea. That's how he sees himself. He knows his mother sees him, but he doesn't think anybody else sees him because his whole world is wrapped up in his mom. This first quick scene you're going to see is the one prop that I had to construct was the homeless shelter that the boy built in the wilderness, and it's built like a 9-year-old. Well, not, you know, an 8-year-old, 9-year-old, whatever. It's built like a child would build something, and it's supplied in a way that a child would supply it, and the things that he thinks are priorities in his life. He would go out into the wilderness and find these things that people had discarded, and build this place that he thought was a good, comfortable place for his mom. So in the first scene, you'll see the completed version of this homeless shelter, and then I'm going to jump over to scenes one after the other that show you the progression of me building this thing as I went. This is part of my backyard, basically. It goes around, houses up there. I live in the woods for the most part, you see, and it gives me a good place to set up this foamless shelter, or fake homeless shelter, for this video. So what I did was came down here. I started clearing out this part of the woods to make it look somewhat lived in. I got a lot of work to do. This is the very beginning of it. So this is where a lot of the video is going to be shot. I mean, just right in here. All right, got a little work done. Looks a little flimsy, but I have to make this area look like an 8-year-old built it. All right, day 2, setting up for the video. I added a few things. It rained overnight, so the starting of the weathering of the area is now in full swing. Come down in here. Got a few things here. This 8-year-old boy is a collector of things he can get his hands on, things that he finds important, things that an 8-year-old would find important, as to protecting and taking care of his mom, who's a hardcore alcoholic. They're homeless. I'm going to add a few more things in there to fit the part. I put that shelter together. Over a period of 2 weeks, it fell together a little. I would add a little bit here and there, and I let nature take its course. I let the leaves fall naturally to make it look like it had been there for a while. So yeah, that was sort of fun doing that and seeing how it fell together. In the next scene here, you're going to see the beginning of the video where the boy finds the paper and runs it back to his mom. He finds something he thinks is really important. Check this out. Go. Start running with it.
Mama, look what I found. I found something.
So there you go. And before I go any further, I want to explain something to you. And like I said, I'm talking to you like you've never done something like this. So the music is laid out. The actual song is laid out in what I use, the iMovie, the editing bay, whatever you want to call it, first. And then the scenes are placed over top the music. And as you can hear me talking to him, or the noises of running through, the natural noises that come when you're videotaping something, you can take that out. So I'll give you an example. And this is me singing or mouthing like I'm singing around the campfire, which shows up throughout the video, singing the song to a jam box. I put some batteries in this radio thing with a CD player and took it out by the fire, and I had this thing turned up and I was singing along with that. Okay, that's how I could sync it up with the actual music once it's laid out. And you move the video so it would sync up with the actual song. And these two clips show you the difference. The first one is me actually doing it, and the second one's the piece from the actual video. Check it out. So the next couple scenes coming in here is when the boy comes back with this paper that he finds, and he reads it to his mom, and it's what's called the Serenity Prayer. And I've never heard of that until one of my coworkers told me about it. He's a recovering alcoholic, 20 years sober, and Leo told me about this thing called a Serenity Prayer, and he thinks it would be really cool to add to the video. So then I had to think of how I would put this in the video so it didn't stand out as being too odd at one point or another. I gave it to him cold, so he would read it and not read it like an overly educated young person would be, being he lives with his mom. He only reads whatever she could teach him whenever he could do it. So the crappier he made it sound, almost the more authentic it would be. So that's how that turned out. So check out these two scenes. Okay.
Mama, I found something. It's for you. To accept the things I cannot change, courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference.
Now, I don't think those are the exact scenes I used in the video, but you get the idea with him reading that. Now, if you remember the video, if you haven't seen it yet, check out the beginning when he first comes up with that. I'm laying on my back in the homeless shelter, filming him coming in like I'm actually the mother laying there, half awake. I tried to make it look like a little hazy. I changed the voice to sound deep and almost like it was her in a drunken stupor, basically. And this is how she's perceiving the audio. The next scene is where the music actually starts, and the point where he finds the arrow. And I think that to me was something that was important artistically. His world just opened up when he finds this arrow, and that was ad lib. He did that on his own, where he raised that thing up and like was showing the world, look what I got. This is me. This is who I am, and I'm proud of it. If he even knew what pride was. So it's sort of a sad scene, but it opens up the whole video right there as soon as the music starts.
Okay, go. That's it. That's it.
So the next 5 or so clips in succession is the boy out wandering the woods looking. It's me coaching him on what to do, when to start, things like that. And like I said, he did a real good job of picking up on that. I was very proud of him for how he portrayed this whole thing. It fell together real nice. My vision and explaining it to him, he just pulled it off really good. So check out these next 5 clips of him wandering the woods and doing his thing.
Okay, go. That's it. Okay, when I tell you to, look right at the camera. Okay, go. Okay, go ahead. Stop. Look around. All right, and you keep coming whenever you're ready. Keep going.
This whole idea with using the boy and the life that he's living is almost purposely done in a way that my idea was to make you feel sorry for the boy. I created the whole thing and I still feel sorry for him. I know it's just an innocent thing with what we were doing, but I think it came across really telling. And if you know the story and all that goes with the song, I think it makes it even more impactful. So this boy he's hurting. He doesn't know anything different in his life. And these next few clips, they're probably this, some of the saddest stuff from the video. And once again, my son pulled it off pretty good with a little bit of coaching. Check it out.
Do that. Put your hands in your face. Right. Yep, that's it. Attaboy. Perfect. All right, now when I say look up, but don't look at me. Look like straight up, and go like, and put your hands in the air and go why, like why. Look straight up in the sky. Just be natural. And you could like play with them like they're talking to each other or something.
Now we come to the part where my wife comes into play here as the boy's mother. Obviously, I had to dress her up like she was on the down and out. I actually drug her around in the dirt a little bit to to make her a little bit dirty, a little bit. You'll see some leaves on her once in a while, but she also did a great job at portraying someone who was really not all there. And the next couple scenes, you'll see her, and she's taking the boy to the place where she meets up with a guy who's a sleazeball. He's an enabler to her situation, and he, gives her the alcohol for favors on her part. So that was a little hard to portray. So I hope, when you're watching the video, you use your imagination a little bit on that. In the next couple scenes, you'll see that the boy's no dummy, and he doesn't like his mom being like that. And he knows the source of that is going on these little trips they go to meet this guy and to get the alcohol, which he knows once she starts drinking that she becomes incoherent, and that's the life he does not, the part of his life that he does not like. So you'll see him fighting, she's trying to drag him out of there, which is sort of when we were doing it, it was sort of a funny scene, but you'll see, one of the takes, a lot of these takes aren't the ones used in the video, but you get an idea. And, and then you'll see him, he doesn't like this guy. You see him turning his back on this guy, trying to give him a candy bar to buy him off, and he's not buying into it. But as soon as the guy leaves, if you'll notice, he picks that candy bar up and runs with it, because he's a kid. What kid doesn't like candy? But he doesn't want that guy seeing that he took that candy bar. So another scene that makes you feel bad for the guy. Let's check it out. I'm rolling whenever you're ready. Where's your bag, dude? Okay. Go ahead. Oh, it's all right. I'm running, but I can just cut that out. I'm gonna let a bunch of clips run here, which shows to me, this is the actual saddest part, is his being with his mom when she's incoherent, back at the homeless shelter. Just like 3 or 4 scenes in a row that show him being with her where he wants to be, but not particularly caring about that life, but it's all he knows. So these are a few. I'm going to let them run and sit back and check them out. Okay. All right, now slide down and sit in her little area there where her arms are, like leaning the back against her kind of thing. Yeah, there you go. Yep, it's good. You're bored and you're waiting. Do this like, go, like, like you're upset. That's it. Keep going, move around and stuff. See that bottle laying next to you? Push it away with anger on your. See it? Push it with the anger. Just. Yeah, that's it. Yep. You're ready. Go ahead. Now, both hands. Put your stick down. There you go. That's good. Whatever. this is where the boy meets this older man who seems to be wandering in the area that he lives, and he's just wandering through. And I'm just representing a guy that could maybe give this kid some advice, and I do recognize his plight, and I'm impressed by his, what he does to basically, allow his mom to survive. He's interested and curious, and he spies on this guy. And this is a grown man. He knows the kid's watching him. He knows what's going on, but he's doing his own thing and letting the kid do his thing. So the next few scenes is him learning about who I am in his own secretive little ninja way.
Keep moving, bud. Peeking out. Wes, keep moving. That's it. Go ahead, bub. Go!
The next scene is a campfire scene. This is where he is watching me from the darkness, and I'm having, this older man. He has this this campsite going, and the boy's curious, and the man sees him out there like he always does, and invites him over, and they have a little conversation, and it wraps the whole story up here. And this is the new mentor for this kid, his buddy, his new friend, and the man tells him that he's worth more than what he's known as out there in the wilderness, and that he has a real name. And you find out his real name here at the very end. And it was really hard getting my son to do that thing at the end without laughing or without smiling. I finally had to edit off a little smile that he had done, but we got through it. And after that, I think the music has already ended, but you'll see him giving me an apple, which represents, these guys need to eat. And he's impressed with the boy and his ability to collect the food and things like that. So you check out the campfire scene. You ready? Man, it's getting hot. That's a good fire. All right. Here goes. Take 3. Hey, little fella. I see you over there. Why don't you come on in here and sit down? And what do they call you, buddy?
They call me Broken Arrow.
Broken Arrow. Wow. That's quite the name. Maybe you shouldn't listen to what they call you. You know what I see? I see a hero, you taking care of your mom and all that. So what's your name?
My name is Johnny.
Johnny. Well, that's it. I hope you learned a little bit about making videos. Give it a try yourself. If you got iMovie, if you got an Apple desktop, iMovie should be available to you. This thing right here was edited on the iMovie. So, thanks for tuning in. I'm going to play the entire music video for you right after this. It's coming up next. And stick around if you haven't seen it yet, or even if you had. But, it is art, and it's a whole different form for people that write music, such as myself, to turn it into a visual. I think that's cool. It's a lot of work. It really is. And it took me 2 weeks or 3 weeks just to think about it every day as I'm at work doing my job. I'm thinking about this thing and how I'm going to do it and how I'm going to change it over from a really high budget thing to a low budget. I had to change the story completely to fit in with that. So I hope you like it. That's Broken Arrow. And thanks again for tuning in to episode 10 of Jiggley Jones's. Check out the video. Here it comes. Ready?
Mama, look what I found.
Mama, look, I found something.
God grant me to the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference.
Oh, yeah, yeah. With the money out, checking out the floor model. Yep, that's the one pretty I know. We'll decide a power by the apple grove. Well, now she's a regular broken arrow. Are you coming with me now, baby? It's sad to the bone and marrow. Tragically, it's beautiful. You're so high, oh. You're high, oh. Broken arrow. Yeah, 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 yeah. Little Johnny Joe, no tomorrow. Sunken shy, broken soul, tiny hero. He's the only one around. Never ending positive glow. He's not the one to throw in the towel. Never wants to break the bow. We'll decide a powwow by the apple grove. Well, now she's a regular broken arrow. Are you coming with me now, baby? It's sad to the bone and marrow. Tragically, it's beautiful. You're so high, oh. You're high, oh. Broken arrow. Yeah, 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 yeah. Little Johnny Joe, no tomorrow. Sunken shy, broken soul, tiny hero. He's the only one around. The never-ending positive glow. You're so high, oh. You're high, oh. Broken arrow. Yeah, 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 yeah. Little Johnny Joe, no tomorrow. Sunken shy, broken soul, tiny hero. He's the only one around. Yeah, yeah, you're broken arrow. You're high, oh. Broken arrow. Yeah, 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 yeah. Little Johnny Joe, no tomorrow. Sunken shy, broken soul, tiny hero. He's the only one around. The never-ending positive glow.
Hey, little fella, why don't you come on over here and sit down for a minute? See you over there. Hey, what do they call you, man?
They call me Broken Arrow.
Broken Arrow?
Wow. That's quite the name. Maybe you shouldn't listen to what they call you.
You know what I see? I see a hero.
Taking care of your mom and all that. So what's your name?
My name is Johnny.
Johnny.